You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in that little person. You have to believe for your kids. Initially, I started. Hey guys, it's your girl, Dr. Tash, where pain speaks and purpose answer. I'm your host, and I have a wonderful, amazing guest with me today.
Check out this interaction with his UPS driver.
Yes, sir. You give me this? Yes, sir. So you're both? Yeah. Yo, I'm happy for you, bro. Thank you, dude. Yeah. No, thank you so much, Jane.
Now here we are 2 days later.
Hey, what's up? Man, I just wanted to say the book is really good. Hey, what's up, Kyle? Man, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Where can you buy that book? You can get it on Amazon. It's on Amazon, or you can get it on the TikTok app. Okay. TikTok shop is where I'm making most of the sales. Okay. All right. Thanks, man. Hey, thanks, Kyle. Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
This book is for men who know they need to lead better at home, but were never shown how. It breaks down how to earn respect, communicate clearly, take responsibility, and become the man your family can rely on without yelling, ego, or guessing. It's motivation. It's direction. If you're a husband, a father, or a man who wants to be chosen first in your home, this is for you. Click the link below and grab your copy.
He's a father. He's an entrepreneur. He's a risk taker. He's a husband. And he also have a podcast called Call Me First. Guys, check it out. He also wrote a book. My God, the book was amazing. So he's an author, guys. He's none other than, actually, before we even mention him, he's my mentor. He's the one that directed me and showed me the way to create my podcast. He was the one that gave me the vision. He was the one that showed me what to purchase for my podcast. And I'm forever grateful for him. His name is none other than Damien.
Hey, thank you, Tash, for having me on your show. And I want to tell you, before I even get into me right now, I want to tell you how proud I am of what you are doing. Everything that you've accomplished, all the steps that you've taken to get your podcast up and rolling. I am super duper proud of you, and I see your progress, and I just want to commend you on the progress that you're making, and just tell you that the road is bright ahead for you.
Yes.
And I love exactly what you're doing. Keep going, no matter how it looks. Keep going.
Keep going. So Damien, for all of you who don't know, before TelaTash started, I had the vision for TelaTash. I just didn't know where to begin, where to start. And your wife, Candace, had sent me a link to your podcast, Call Me First. And when I was watching it, I watched the whole entire episode without season, and it was phenomenal. It was amazing. The message that you poured into people was amazing. And I said, there's nobody better than Damien to reach out to you to ask for your help. And you gave me more than I can imagine the help. I would not have asked anybody else. It was you. And I was so grateful that you had opened your door and you had poured into TelaTash.
Tash, you would have did it anyway. You had that drive in you from when you first started having the conversation.
Yeah.
You would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
You figured out things on podcasting that I never even tried yet. So you would have got it anyway, and I appreciate you trying to give me the props. But it was in you anyway. You were going to figure it out anyway, because you, like I said, you had that drive, you had the passion. It's something that you wanted to do. And watching you now do it, I realized that this is your calling. Go for it. Keep pushing. Keep doing what needs to be done, no matter what it looks like.
Thanks.
Keep going. Your message will get to who it needs to get to. Look, even my message, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, but
it will get to the people that it needs to get to.
Absolutely.
Keep going, Tash. You would have did it anyway. right?
Thank you so much. So
You're welcome.
before we get into Call Me First and your brand and, what the risk that you took, tell me about yourself.
Well, Tosh, I'm a regular guy. Regular guy. I don't believe it's anything extravagant about me. I don't believe I'm doing better than anybody else. What I do know is one thing I can say is I get to what's called reality quick. Um, Geez, I'm sorry about that. But I get to what's called reality quick. What that means is I don't need much to understand what life is really about. Once I see or I'm able to recognize a certain thing, I don't have a problem changing how I'm getting to the goal. And this is where I think I may be beyond the thought of some other people that I'm not locked into the process. I'm locked into the goal. So I don't have a problem changing up the process to get to the goal. So like I said, I'm not better than anybody. I'm a regular guy. I'm a father, husband that's been through some things. And all I'm doing with Call Me First is sharing my experiences and allowing other men to see what it takes to be a Call Me First man. And I'll explain that to you in a second when we get there.
That's amazing. You keep mentioning that you're a regular guy, but in some people's view, in their eyesight, you're the hero. You're not just a regular guy. Even for me, you're more than just regular. I know you're watering it down and you're being very modest, but sincerely, I'm letting you know from the time that I met you, and I think it was at your wedding, and I mentioned it to your wife. I said something. Actually, I said a speech at your wedding. Something about you is nothing regular. Nothing regular about you. It's good that you want to be modest about it. But when I was at your wedding and I was with Darian, we was like, man, he's a man. That's all we could have said. We
Yeah.
just said that is all people need to know, how to be a man and take ownership and leadership in their home. When I saw Candace just sitting like the princess she was and is, I said every girl inspired to be where Candace was, because usually in a wedding, the female's running around. And I saw Candace at peace, at peace. That gave me so much joy because I know and where we both came from. And when I saw that happiness, that peace, I'm like, who is this man that took her heart and not just take your heart and give you like these gaslights, message or future or stuff. No, you took her heart and you built it on top of it. So when you say, I know you're very modest and you say regular, nothing is regular about you.
So I appreciate that. But the things I'm doing, the way I see it as regular, isn't that what we are all supposed to do? This is what we're supposed to do, right? Isn't that? Yeah. So like even when it's to jump ahead real quick, right? Even when it comes to Father's Day and things like that, a lot of times I'm like, what is that? What is that? Like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is my job, right? And then I hear people say, "Yo, bro, you're such a good dad. You always got your kids. You're doing this. You're doing that." I said, "What am I supposed to do? What else am I supposed to do? I made them. This is my responsibility. Like, they didn't ask to be here. The mom didn't make them by herself. Like, so this is my job." So when I say I'm a regular guy, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. When God put us out here, we we were designed to do certain things. There's a lot of things that I speak about in my book, but we were designed to speak about to do certain things as men. And I just wholeheartedly lock onto that role. Don't get me wrong. I was always a man's man, but I wasn't fulfilling every single duty my entire life. Most of this stuff where I'm at right now probably started 4 or 5 years ago. before then I was a wild boy. I'm gonna say that. I was a wild boy. Before then, but what I've learned in the last 4 or 5 years is probably I want to say what I've learned, what I've came to understanding with, what's the word I'm looking for here? Well, I'm gonna just leave it. What I came to understanding came over the last 4 or 5 years is I have a bigger role to play. What I thought I was doing before was only a percentage of what I need to do as a man. And then even when I became a husband, that percentage, it got a little bit smaller of what I thought I was doing. But then it expanded more to what needs to come when you're dealing with a marriage. So it's a lot behind it, and I'll let you get to your questions.
So what was the turning point that shaped your life today in becoming this man that you are?
It started slightly when I had my first son. Started slightly at that point. I wasn't totally reformed. Let me use that word. I wasn't totally reformed at that point, but it started slightly when I had my first son. And the reason why that started is I realized that I am here now. Somebody will be looking to me for protection, for guidance, to be accountable, to show them life. And this person cannot protect themselves, cannot guide themselves, can't do anything. And I made this person, and I'm responsible for this young man now. So that gently started to turn there, even though I was still 1 foot in the house and 1 foot outside doing what outside people do at that time. It still was a responsibility on me that I couldn't totally understand, but I knew at that particular moment something had to change, even though I didn't do it fully at that point. So that's where it started, right? And to put it more into perspective of where it really, really came into play was when I got married. When I got married. Don't get me wrong, before I got married, I went through a year or so where I was single, and at that time is where you really get to know yourself, right? Especially when you're single and you're building and you're like, something has to change. And I couldn't do it with someone there because there was a lot that I had to go through within me to be prepared for someone, so I wouldn't bring any of my extra whatever it is on this person, right? So I knew my next relationship would have to end in marriage, right? During that time. And I said, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? So first thing I had to do was save money, right? That was my first thing. Let me start saving some money, because I got to be real with you, Tash. Back before I got this together, and I hope people don't clown me in the comments later, right? I used to think having $500 in the bank account was a lot of money.
Was money, right?
So I'm thinking, $500 in the bank account was a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to discourage anybody that has $500 or even less in the bank account, but that is a starting point, right? So my first thing was to save money. And I started putting money together. I got deep into my photography, which you can see the pictures behind me. It's sports photography. And I sat here and I went through YouTube University and learned how to do photography to the best notch. Don't get me wrong, I went to photography school. But to do sports photography, it's not the same thing as going to photography school. But I learned that, and I made a bunch of money doing that time. Let me be real. A bunch of money to me was almost 10 grand. But, I'm not really here to talk about money, but that's what it was, right? So during that one summer, I made that much money. And that was the starting point of it. And then I had to say, now, what comes with next? I have to learn how to be selfless, because I was very, very selfish. It was all about me at one point. When I say all about me, I had this idea that whoever I deal with, this was back before my brain changed, right? Whoever I deal with will have to adjust to me. I ain't adjusted to nobody. What a dumb idea that was.
Well,
what a
that's what
a
lot of men think, right? I think if they don't have that blueprint, they wouldn't know how to love somebody else. They only know how to love themselves and get what they need. Self-gratification, absorption. Everything is self, me. But, you putting out that blueprint for the next person, that's amazing, because Some people, their marriage deter because they're so selfish.
It won't work. I've seen it fail for plenty of people before. It won't work. Marriage is a compromise. A compromise between two people.
Yeah.
You got to realize whoever you're getting married to was a certain way their entire lives before they met you. You were a certain way your entire life before you met this person. Now that you guys are coming together, you guys never had the same past. You didn't have the same upbringings. You didn't experience the same things. So their outlook on things is going to be maybe a little different than yours. Yours may be a little different than theirs. What can you do to bring this together? And the only way to do this is to be willing to accept something that you're not used to. Right? Once you can accept something that you're not used to, that's the starting point. Yeah, that's where compromise comes in at. And this is a marriage won't work without it. And I'm speaking like I've been married 30 years. I've been married 2.5 years. I've been married 2.5 years, right? And I'm gonna speak to that in a second, right? I've been married 2.5 years, but I learned so much in here because I'm willing to adjust to every situation because I love my person and I'm gonna make this shit work. Sorry, but I'm gonna make this thing work. So, there is compromise that needs to happen, right? There's compromise that needs to happen, and I came to an understanding of that, right? So to go back to speak about me married for 2.5 years, here's what I say about that, right? If there are levels, even take podcasting, there are levels of certain things, right? Let's just say podcasting, the top level is level 5. Let's say one of the podcasters that have been out 15, 20 years, they may be at level 5 when it comes down to podcasting, right? Let's say me now, I'm probably at level 3 or level 4, whatever it is when it comes to podcasting. That level 5 can teach me stuff, right? Because they have way more experience than me. Me being now, let's say a level 3, I can teach a level 2 stuff. So me being a level 3 doesn't mean that I can't teach anybody, but that may be a beginner or just getting started. So the 2.5 years of marriage is not saying that I can't teach somebody something that may have less years of marriage. And I could even teach somebody something that has more years of marriage because they weren't doing it correctly. Who am I to say what you're doing correctly or not? But I know what works for me.
And your home.
I know exactly. I know what how decent my house is. And I wouldn't say everything is great. Here's one other thing too, Tash. When people think about marriage and things like that, and we watch this stuff on TV and we watch what's going on and we watch it on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, and everybody looks perfect. Hey, listen, them people fight. They argue. They go back and forth. It happens. What they do is really good at hiding it. And it's beautiful. Go argue.
Yeah.
Go have disagreements.
Yeah.
Go kiss and make up.
Yeah.
The disagreement ain't the end all be all. If you get into an argument, disagreement with your person, you think it's the end all be all, especially somebody that you're married to, you wasted money and time getting married. Yeah. That's my thing. You wasted money and time getting married. So this is what I believe in. I don't even know where we were when we got to this conversation, but yeah. That's my point.
What do you think about the statistic is stated when a man get married, they live longer, they're much healthier. But when a woman get married, we die quicker.
And I didn't know that was a statistic. I didn't know that at all.
Develop certain, medical issues. They're more stressed.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
What do you think about that?
If I had to put it into any words right now, for the people that the women they die quicker, maybe you married the wrong guy. I'm not. I don't know. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know. No, I don't know why. But if I could speak to why I believe that men live longer, you get a helpmate, right? As much as I'm not spiritually inclined with a lot of things, I believe that's a part of the Bible that you get a helpmate when you get married, your wife becomes a helpmate, right? And I believe it's vice versa. So having a helpmate is one of the best things about being married, right? Can I tell you a quick story?
Yeah.
All right. So as I'm building business, right? A lot of the business building part is on me. That's just where I'm fully driven to do. My wife handles more, her job is more of administrative things, right? And she, when we first got together, this was a part of Growing Pains, right? when we first got together, and I'm building business, even with photography, whatever it is. And it's certain things that I was looking at. I said, listen, man, I wish I needed help with this part. I needed help with that part. I needed help with this part. And things weren't lining up. And I'm like, dang, yeah, I could use Candace's help on this. And Candace was busy doing other things. It's like, dang, bro, if she would just help me, I'd be great. Everything, I'll be good. And now I'm panicking like, oh man, I'm upset with her too. To be honest with you, I was upset with her. But then maturity kicked in. And when maturity kicked in, I realized this. There is so much work to do inside of a house, especially when you have children. And I'm pretty sure you know that, right? So much work to do inside of a house, right? And I realized that here was the part that most men may miss. The things that I'm able to do as far as business, I wouldn't be able to accomplish as much as I would if I was the one taking care of the kids in the house. I wouldn't be able to do the things that I can do. So me being upset at the fact that she wouldn't jump into certain things, the more maturity kicked in, I realized like, yo, bro, you got really far. Could you have done this if she wasn't doing what she was supposed to do? And the answer is absolutely not. So I had to give her grace and say, listen, I got to get off of that and try and do as much as I could because believe me, I do housework, I help out, do that. But the full intensity of what a mother does with small children, you get what I'm saying? It's like,
Well,
most men,
don't let me stop talking.
listen, most men aren't equipped to do this.
Don't let me stop talking.
I get it, right? And I look at it like most men aren't equipped to do this, Tash. So it's like I had to give her grace.
Yeah.
So to go back to answering the question, why we look, because we get an help.
Yeah.
We get someone that's riding with us, somebody that takes up a lot of the burden that we carry. And the flip side of it is on the woman's side, maybe they take on more than they would, and that's probably why the lifespan and maybe less is getting married.
Yeah.
And to
There's
be
so much
honest
more
now
on
that
your plate.
exactly, to be honest now that I know that statistic, I feel bad. So quick story. One more quick story, right? So me doing photography, these pictures back here. And if I could probably, well, I ain't gonna move the camera, but these pictures back here, right? I'm doing photography. I don't know if I ever told you a story, but I'm gonna tell them on air right now, right? I'm doing photography. And I was getting so much business during that time, I had to invite one of my friends in to help me do photography, right? And he came in willingly. I didn't have much money to pay him in the beginning. And even when I did have much money, he was like, yo, D, you're building, just give me whatever, just whatever. And that was such a good thing for him to do, right? But here's what's going on. We probably did about, let me set it up for you. I'm on one side of the football field or soccer field, whatever it is. He's on the opposite side. He has one of my cameras, one of my lenses. He's capturing photos too. So we're both capturing photos. We have walkie-talkies that we talk to each other across the field. When one of us has to move or whatever situations, we communicate across the field. So what we're doing, and it got to a point where it started getting dark one night, and it's happened a couple different games. It started to get a little bit darker, not night dark, but the sun is coming down, right? So, and I said to him on the walkie-talkie, I said, listen, change the ISO. Bring the ISO up. This is a camera setting, right? You probably wouldn't even know what I'm talking about. I said, bring the ISO up to XYZ 1, 2, 3. And remind you, we're probably about 4 or 5 games in, and we've spoken about ISO a lot over walkie-talkie. And he says to me, across the walkie-talkie, he says, bro, I don't know what that is. What button do I hit? And I said, bro, we've been doing this 5 weeks already. What do you mean? I'm yelling at him across the thing. What do you mean you don't know? And what I had to realize was, this dude ain't a photographer.
Yes.
He's only out here an hour or two helping me per game, maybe a couple more hours, depending on how many games we got to cover. He's not a photographer. Once he puts this camera down, he could care less about it. He doesn't study it. I'm the one that studied it. I'm the one that had the vision. I'm the one. It's not his job to study these things. His job is, he comes out here, he's coming to help me. I have to give him direction. And I learned something that day.
Well, that's good that you learned that, because some people, we as females, we don't learn it that easy, right? we still want you, if we're in a relationship, we want men to kind of lead. We want them to take charge. We want them to just support without me saying anything. And I noticed in your book you also mentioned, how can a man lead? How can you lead if you're not even leading yourself?
What does that look like, though? Here's what I'm saying about this. When I say what does that look like is, whoever this is, right? Whatever man it is, one of my people on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever that is, right? And we meet a man to lead. If you have never seen it, how do you know what leading is, right? Even if you've seen it, or if you've been in a house with it and nobody ever put it to you directly to lead, this is what you do as a man. This is what you do when you get a wife. This is what you do when you have kids and things like that. If you are left to do everything without any accountability, like, no, listen, my kids could watch me do everything in this house, right? Could watch me fix everything, turn a screwdriver, turn a wrench and everything. If I never brought one of my sons into a room with me and said, listen, this is a Phillips head screwdriver, this is a flathead screwdriver, this is what you use to take this screw out of this remote control car, how would he know? He might have watched me do it, but never participated. So here's the thing. We got to realize that a lot of people, even if they may have seen it, some people never saw it, but if they were never included to participate, they may not know exactly what to do.
So what are some misunderstandings that men have today about leading a home?
Most men, I ain't gonna say most, well, maybe most men probably think leading a home is I'm bringing this paycheck home. I ain't got to do nothing else. And that is you can bring the paycheck home all you want to. Are you present? Are you communicating? Are you taking accountability for certain things? Are you inputting yourself into what the daily activities of the home? So here, let me say this to men now, like, right? Here's your opportunity to understand. And this is just me speaking from experience. If you sit back and let everything else fall into place, if you sit back and you decide that I'm not doing anything, me bringing this paycheck home is enough, you'll slowly start to see a relationship disappear. Here is why. Nobody wants to be on a team and do all of the work. Everybody wants to score the game-winning shot, but nobody wants to do all the work. When it's time to run drills, nobody wants to be doing it by themselves, right? When it's time to run a layup line, nobody wants to do it by themselves. When it's time to do the tackling dummy drill, nobody wants to do it by themselves. When it's time to clean, wash dishes, wash clothes, whatever it is, take care of the children, do homework, a lot of women will take it on wholeheartedly, but they'll be so glad if you step in to help.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that this has to be your entire, I'm not saying you got to go fight the entire world, deal with traffic, do your job and come home and take on everything. Bro, help out a little bit. Help out. So this is what it comes down to. So listen, we have roles to play, and we want to say we play the roles without actually doing the work. Work has to be done. You have to be present, and being present means you participate. This is what it's about. Participate.
And that's what's missing in the home is the present. And it's, even growing up, my parents slept in 2 separate rooms. We never saw them kissed. We never saw them hug. Mom was working very heavily. Dad was around, but just not present, like you said. And we were just like raising ourselves. So, when now in my adulthood, I'm like, is that what my life is going to look like? Am I emulating the same thing where it's okay to be in a home and not talk to someone for hours? I heard it on one of the shows. People talk to their spouse less than 2 hours a day.
I get accused of that. I get accused of that.
So how are we in this home together And we talking 2 hours a day.
Tash, that's a lot. That's a lot of talking. Believe me, that's 2 hours a day. That's a lot of
Yeah.
talking. That's a
A
lot of
lot of
talking.
no, that's just the basics. That's just, did you go get the kids? Did you go pick up laundry? Did you go wash the car and put gas in my car? That's the talking. I'm talking
Yes,
about real in-depth talk, conversation, meaningful
mhm,
conversation that has nothing to do with labor law, children,
mhm.
or work.
Most of us, me included, I gotta speak from experience here. Most of us aren't really talkative like that. We gotta listen. We'll engage. We'll
Tell you
engage
what
in
your
a lot of
no,
conversations.
no, don't
Listen,
tell me that.
I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. There's a lot of men like this. We'll engage in conversations, which we will. Well, I know. Let me speak for me. I'll engage in conversation, but I may not be the conversation starter. But here's the thing:
You get
when
one
we go,
answer. Nope.
no.
Yes.
When we go to the store, whether
When
it's
I
a
met
mall,
you, you was talking.
yeah, but hold up now.
You was
Hold up.
talking. We was conversating. We was on the phone till we fell asleep on the phone. So what are you
Yeah.
telling me now?
So, shoot, you got me. I can't explain for him. I can't, right? I can't explain for him, but I can explain for me,
Okay.
right? So here's my thing: when you go in a store, especially me, I'm going to the store. I'm going to go get what I got to get and get up out of there. Y'all want to go shop. Y'all want to walk around. Y'all want
That's
to lift
right.
things up. Y'all want to turn around,
Exactly.
examine it, things like that.
Yes.
I know what I want. I'm about to go to the store, go get this, and I'm out of there. It's that simple for me, and it's that simple for a lot of us. And I'm one of these people, right? I know it ain't right sometimes, but I am one of these people. I don't need an explanation for every part of how we got to something, how something got to me. I don't need it. How much it costs, what I got to do, what is my part, let's do that. The whole entire explanation of certain things, I got too much other stuff going on that I don't need explanation. I trust you enough to handle whatever the situation is, take care of it. Tell me what my part is. If I got to pay, let me pay. What time do I have to show up? What time is over? Let me do what I got to do. All the other stuff in between, I'm not sure if so much that I need all that. Here's why: because I got them help me. You supposed to set this up, and you know what I like and don't like, and let's get this thing going.
What
I know
about
I know it ain't the
how
ideal idea,
come
but
it dissolves? Like it's like null and void. After kids, it's just sporadic here, it's sporadic there. It's what is going on? What happened? What happened to the date night?
it may be a loss of intimacy, and children will do that. Children will introduce that into a
Yeah.
relationship,
Oh,
right? It would be a loss of intimacy, a loss of connection, because you have somebody else to worry about.
yeah.
You have so many other things to take care of. Children will introduce a void in between two people. They will not, and it's not such a bad thing.
No.
But here's what you do: you step up and say, "Listen, I realize that the connection between me and my person has fell off lately. Hey, mom, dad, auntie, uncle, I want to go out with my lady.
Go out. Mm-hmm.
Can you take care of these children? Take care of these children for me for about 2-3 hours. Can you take care of these kids for me overnight? I want to go to the hotel with my lady. Even though we got a bed and everything here, we want to experience something else." So some people, let me speak to that. Some people are afraid to say, "I'm going to do this and then we'll spend the money." Hey, listen, one thing about me, I realize when you spend money, it's gone. Nothing you could do about it. I think a connection between my wife and I is worth a $200 hotel overnight,
Absolutely.
or whatever, $300 hotel overnight. And you may not have it. Some people may not have that $200-$300 to say, "Oh, I could blow it right now," and that's okay. But here's the thing: if you know that this needs to happen, hey, bro, go run Uber a couple nights. Go do DoorDash a couple nights. Do what it takes to get what you need to get the connection back between you. That one night of intimacy can hold you over for probably another 2 months, bro. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's necessary. Do it.
And it's part of just that emotional intelligence that is lacking for most men. They don't have that emotional intelligence. And for and that's why the disconnect, as I mentioned in my last podcast, is in the home, because
Mhm.
everyone is suffering in their head, right? Everyone is suffering in silence. Everyone have their own particular issue, and we're not giving each other's grace for it. You know,
Mhm.
we're dealing, like, especially black men. Black men is already dealing with a lot of the outside noise, of the things that they have to deal with, to providing for a home, and just showing up, being a leader. They just have a lot of baggage on their shoulder that I feel like we kind of disregard that as well. Like, we don't look into that. Like, don't ask the men, how are you feeling anymore? We just will expect them to just do, go, 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 but we're not stopping and thinking about how they're feeling.
Listen, that is always welcomed. To check in on us. That is always welcomed. We appreciate it. We're glad to know that somebody cares about what we have going on. Somebody cares about how our lives are going. That is always appreciated. But as a man's man myself, I'm going to tell you this. If I don't get it, I'm still going to do what I got to do. Because I took on a wife. I made children. The children never asked to be here. And when I took on this lady as my wife, I gave her the comfort to say, I can rely on this man. This man has my back. And we said, for better or worse, didn't we? So regardless of what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to, because I would have never got married. And I want to say this, right? Before I got married, during that year that I was talking about that I took off for myself, I knew I was going to be intentional about every single thing that I wanted to do, right? So even when me and Candace first started talking, maybe 2-3 weeks in, and we're talking, and it's crazy that I brought up the idea of marriage at that time, and it got to the point I say, I'm the man, listen, right? I'm the guy, and I said this. I said, if the intention ain't to get married in a couple months, let's stop wasting each other's time and go our separate ways. I'm not building a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship no more. I was 36 at the time, 37 at the time. I'm not building a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. So if the intention ain't to get married, I'm not wasting my time. But that only came when I took time to realize that what I wanted to do. So I said all that to say this. Everything has to be intentional.
Yeah.
Be intentional about what it is. Your responsibility does not default because of your circumstance.
Yeah.
What that means is, whatever you're responsible for, you're still responsible for, no matter what you're going through, right? So to put on top of that, if you're responsible, people are like, so what if I get sick? What if this happens? What if this happens? Prepare before you get sick. Prepare before this happens. Prepare before that happens. This is my whole entire idea. And one way of preparation, get some life insurance. Get life insurance. Next way of preparation, put some money aside. I don't care if you're putting $20 aside and you doing this for weeks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That $20 that you put away for a couple of weeks could buy the food for the house until you get back on your feet.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Prepare before things happen. Don't tell me, oh, what if I suddenly get sick? Hey, listen, you may not be sick now, or you weren't sick the entire time, bro. Prepare. Preparation is always better than repair.
Yeah.
Prepare.
Yeah.
So you don't have to repair.
So that's actually a generational curse that you have broken, to be honest, because that generational curse exists. And I believe in a lot of African American homes where no one is preparing themselves for the future, for the worst, for the, inevitable. Like, we just need to break that curse. Like, what made you want to break that curse, Damien?
So what made me want to break that curse was I didn't want to be a disgrace to my children, right? And I'm not saying that the people that came before me were a disgrace. Definitely not saying that. Dad, mom, everything, they listen, no matter what I went through, I am who I am today, and I couldn't have went through that with some of the bumps and bruises that I got because of certain circumstances. But what made me decide that I didn't want to go through that is I wanted my children to have something. I knew what I was taught or what I saw growing up would have never served my kids today, right? So that's what that was. It was one of those things that, listen, I went through a lot of bumps and bruises. I learned everything through trial and error. I didn't have anybody to say, so I realized what this is. I didn't have a mentor to say, you know what mentors do? Mentors are the one that go through things before you, so you don't have to deal with the bumps and bruises. When it comes down to stuff like this, like podcasts, these are the ones that, so you don't overspend money and go down the wrong path with certain things. These are what mentors do, right? So I wanted to be that for my children because I never had it. I don't want you to have to go through the bumps and bruises. Do I want you to get bumps and bruises? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I want to be able to get you out of it. So my children were the first reason why I decided, yo, this cycle got to break, because I watched it fail for everybody else. Now, did it totally fail? It depends on who looks at it, because something out of those things made me who I am. So did it actually fail? Maybe not. Was it a necessary thing? Could it have been easier? Absolutely. And this is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that, because we have to pour out into our kids. We have to pave the way, and we also have to try to just avoid them struggling the way that we struggle. Some parents may think like, hey, I struggle, so you could struggle too. That's not a good mindset. If I struggled and I didn't get the blueprint, but now I have it, I think I owe it to my children to just pave the way. You know, they didn't ask to be here, especially if they're young Black boys. They didn't ask to be here. They go through so many other demons and battles that, when they in a teenage year, and the school system, just the world in general, they're already going to go through so many battles. Why are we adding to that?
I agree. I don't want, like I said before, I want you to go get bumps and bruises. I want you to understand life. I want you to feel certain things that are part of life. I'm not about to shield you from every single thing. But when you do get these bumps and bruises, and you turn, there will be somebody there standing behind you, or even next to you. One thing I'm not doing, I don't want to stand in front of you when these bumps and bruises come. I'm gonna stand next to you. I might be behind you. I'm gonna help you get back together. I'm gonna ask you what you learned. What did you learn here?
Yeah.
And then, I might go into an explanation of why you learned it this way.
I
want you to get the bumps and the bruises.
Sorry to cut you, but in our culture, life insurance is null and void because they think you're going to kill them before time. What's your take on that?
Silly. People got to realize that these life insurance companies are billion-dollar companies. Every unaliving, because I don't know if you could say the other word, right? Every unaliving is investigated to the tooth, to the bottom. Like, everyone is investigated beyond any type of foul play. If you didn't pass in like a airplane crash, something like that, listen, if that didn't happen, it's going to be investigated. And for those who have the idea that, I don't want to get because my person is might take me out, that's silly. That is silly.
I mean, it does happen, right?
Don't get me wrong, it does happen. But so the person, even for, all right, let's flip the side.
Would you tell your kids you have life insurance, or would you just have your life insurance?
I want them to know I got it.
Yeah.
I want them to know I got it. I thought about you enough to get this for you. I want them to know I got it. So my kids know I have life insurance policy on myself. They well, not my kids. My oldest son, he's 12. He knows, right? And that is me setting him up for whatever, bro. If you, God forbid, bro, you take me out and you get the money, I live my life already. I live a good life. You know what I mean? But I know I sound silly saying that, but it's just the reality. But I'm taking care of you. This is
Yeah.
what this is for. And I can hope that I've been such an impact in your life or so important in your life, you wouldn't dare want to take me
To
out.
do that, right?
And then for people that are in relationships, yo, listen, man, come on. If you're thinking like that about your person, please, I don't care what nobody feels about what I'm about to say. Please separate.
Yeah, yeah.
If you feel like that about your person, please separate.
It's definitely a risk taking life insurance because you just don't know the type of kids you have anymore nowadays. Some kids you have good kids and some kids you just the kids that your parents can gave like I think I was on a podcast the other day on the live and one of the ladies said she had to choose herself this year because her kids were sucking her dry and her mental health was being compromised. So I think it's definitely a risk that we have to take. Speaking of risks, let's shift a little
Okay.
and talk about the risk that you and your wife took to leave your jobs to fully devote your time to call me first.
Tosh. Hey, listen, that's a part of me losing sleep at night, right? And it was a huge risk. I can tell you the exact date. August 19th, 2025 is where I turned my keys in to my truck. I was a truck driver overnight. It was when the day I turned my keys in, I said, this is over. I'm not getting back inside of this truck. I'm going to devote my entire time and energy to my business, to my brand, to what I'm building. It was a huge risk. And I'm happy that it's going the way it's going now. And listen, so to tell you what made me feel comfortable taking that risk, no part of it was comfortable. I said it earlier. I'm starting to understand what faith is.
Come on.
And the fact that I'm understanding what faith is, it's making it a lot easier to follow through with the decisions that I've made. But here's the thing. I could hear somebody saying that, faith is not preparation. Here's the thing. You don't take a leap of faith. You don't take that jump without some type of preparation. You don't leave a job with no plan in mind and resources to help you execute that plan. So a lot of my execution of that risk came with me being prepared for it. And when I say prepared, I don't want to sit here and talk about money. Man, to hell with that. We don't talk about money enough as black people, right? Here's the thing. It came with saving money. You had to put money aside. Don't get me wrong. When I put money aside, it wasn't because I knew I was going to leave my job. I wasn't planning that way. But when I looked at it, I said, listen, how much money do I need?
You did the calculation. 1 + 1 was 2.
Exactly. How much money do I need? How long do I think I need to get this before I get this thing on the road? Maybe about 6 months of money. All right, cool. How much money is that? And I put it together. I said, bro, I could save this. I could put this together. 6 months? What's going to happen in that 6 months, though? I got to dedicate my entire life to this thing. I got to go out here every single day and push forward with it. I got to do every single thing that needs to be done. And now, real quick explanation. I don't want to take up too much time explaining it. People, what we do, a lot of us, I realize this now, right? This is how you get people to understand certain things, right? You don't give a general statement to say, I had to do everything that needed to be done. I'm about to tell you exactly what I had to do. I had to get on this computer every day. I had to record messages about my book. I had to read passages from my book. I had to get on whatever platform I needed to get on, read passages from my book, introduce my book to people, right? Introduce my brand to people. I had to talk. I had to get the book published. Before I had to do all the talk, I had to get the book published. I had to talk to a editor. I had to do find out how to do KDP for Amazon. I had to find out how to get shipping. I had to do everything. You do the research, you do all the things in between it that's necessary, and you put it all together and execute your plan. But you have to work. No part of this is passive. I left August 19th, and I'm gonna say something real quick. I left August 19th. We didn't really start seeing an income of money until maybe 3 weeks ago. Right? So I'm almost made the 6 month. Hey, Tash, I was running out of bread. I started getting nervous. I'm gonna be honest with you. I started getting nervous. I started worrying, right? But then faith, it's like, bro, lock on, because this is how it works. It takes you right to the edge. How bad do you want this? You about to jump off the train now?
You know me.
How bad do you want this? Hey, Tash, at that point, I probably had about a month and a half of money left. Listen, if you're looking at 6 weeks, like, yo, damn, bro, if this don't kick off right now, what I'm about to do? And I said, I don't give what I'm about to do. I know I ain't going back to work.
Did
I
you
know I ain't.
always have that spiritual armor or confidence?
Heck no. Hell no. Spiritual confidence? No. No, absolutely no. No, but I got a praying wife.
That's right.
I got a praying wife. And some of what she does rubs off onto me, right? And this is the thing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really a spiritual guy, but I'm starting to understand a certain lot more now, right? And here's the idea that I came. I don't know if it's a lot, and maybe it's a lot of people that may be in the same relationship. My wife is a praying wife. Does this all the time. This is her life, right? And I said to the wife, I said, listen, I'm not that really a praying husband type guy. I'm learning as we go. But until I do, how about this? How about you protect us from the things that we can't see, and I'll protect us from the things that we can see.
I'm on.
Listen, and that has worked tremendously.
I like that one.
That is a real conversation that we had. That is a real conversation that we had. And
I like that
got us to where we are right now. Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
So, yeah.
Wow.
And that's where we are right now. So to go back to the risk thing, I knew call me first. Once it resonated with a man, because what it does, it gives a man identity, but it also gives you exclusiveness, right? Mm-hmm. Meaning that once you get up to being a call me first man, you know it's an elite group, because can't every man do this? Every man is not equipped to be a call me first man. A call me first man is a man that shows up, that is accountable, that is present, that he works on his communication, that he can be called first by the people that he's responsible for. Of course, you don't want to be called first by everybody, but wife, kids, I'm responsible for y'all. If you get a good grade in school, call me first. If you fail the test and you feel down and you're out, call me first. For my wife, you're having a bad day, you had a rough day at work, and you're feeling down, call me first. If you got a promotion, I better be the first call. I want to celebrate with you. Let me hear this. Let's plan something. I want to be your first call. So for the good and the bad, let me be your person. For my kids and my wife, I want to be your first call. This is what call me first call is. Here's the thing about call me first. You can't want to be a call me first man if you're not prepared for the good and the bad. Has your track record shown you to be a man that comes up with solutions for problems, that brings celebration to successes? This is what a call me first man is. And this is what I want to do. This is what my entire brand is. So when I took that risk, when I realized that this is an exclusive and elite set of men, I knew that the movement will go on. It will push forward. I knew that people would love what it is. I knew that it would hold a certain standard in the men that can carry that. And this is what Call Me First is about.
What makes you think that Call Me First is needed or necessary in this day and age?
It's needed and necessary because all men get put in all men get put in one bubble. Some of us get put in with the bad. Some of the bad get put in a group with the good. Call Me First is an exclusive group. You are elite. And this is a separation between the good and the bad. Who am I to say what's good and bad? Maybe I'm not the person to say who's good and bad, but I know what's necessary and what's not. And I know from my experiences, and I know that there is a difference between those two type of men. This Call Me First is for us. And one thing I want to say here on your podcast, I get attacked a lot about Call Me First. People will pick up a book. People will pick up a book. They'll see a book or see the title, may see something with me on social media, and they immediately get offended by the title. I don't know if I ever told you the story, but they immediately get offended by the title. Here's the book. I ain't afraid to show you. This is the book here. Here's the book. It's not a thick read.
You know,
you can get through this book maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
A day.
People get offended.
It's a day and a half.
Exactly. People get offended by the title Call Me First. They want to know, who do you think you are? Call you first. And here's what people judge a book by: its cover. Call me first. It's not telling you to call me first. It's telling me it's for you to become the man that can be called first by your family. Don't be a loser.
Yeah.
Be a man that you come up with solutions to problems. This is what Call Me First is. This is your job as a leader. This is your job as a protector. This is your job as a provider. This is what Call Me First is. Be that man. Oh, I'd rather just pick up the Bible and read the Bible. You can. My book could never compete with the Bible. Yeah. I'm not trying to compete with the Bible. What my book does is gives you an experience from a man that has been through a lot. I have seen certain things. I've been through certain situations. I can tell you how to get through this. This is what Call Me First is about. I want you to be a Call Me First man. I want you to be a man that holds a certain standard. You made a pledge to your wife. You made an oath to your children. You made a vow to yourself, and you hold a standard. This is what Call Me First is about. It ain't no competition with the Bible. Please don't give me that much credit about my book. The Bible. Are you kidding me?
Speaking of pledge, your merch is very inspiring because every item represents something like a pledge or a vow. Can you explain to the audience about what your merch entail?
All right, so my main collection of merch is my books and hats, right? So one of my hats here is the older one. This is the vow of a man. Call me first. And I have a few more that I probably should have had prepared already, right? But I don't. The vow of a man, call me first. When you put this hat on, the vow of a man, you already made a pledge to yourself. You made a vow to yourself, like, listen, bro, I am a call me first man. For the people that I'm responsible for, I made a vow to myself to be able to protect these people. I have another one called the pledge of a husband. You made a pledge to your wife. You made a pledge to your wife when you got in front of whoever you got in front of and said those vows, made that commitment. You made a pledge to your wife that she can call you first. Call me first, a husband's pledge, that's what that is. Another one, a dad's oath. Call me first. Look at your children, right? And imagine them calling somebody else first because they know you're not equipped to handle whatever problem. Come on. My oath to you is call me first. If I can't figure it out, we'll go figure it out together. I'm gonna go do the research to help you get this. And if I can't figure whatever it is out, bro, I better at least have the money to take care of it, to pay somebody else to do it. Another one is a leader standard. This is for the man that's not married. Mm-hmm. You may not be married, but you're a leader though. So if you might be a coach of a team, you might be a leader at work, whatever it is, this is what that's for. Tell your team to call you first. That's your standard. This is what that's about.
It's inexpensive, and it's like your wedding ring, right? You have your ring, it's like a vow. What you pledging that I will protect, I will provide, I will, just be there, call me first. Do you think that you're putting a lot of pressure on men?
Not the real ones. Not the real ones. And it's not a diss to the ones that may not be real, but here's the thing. Real men that have known this for years and have practiced this type of living for years understand that this to me, I don't know if it's pressure. I don't know if it's pressure. I think it's a part of the job. It's a part of your mechanism. Anybody that feels like, oh, this is too much pressure for me to have children, this is too much pressure for me to have a wife. Hey, man, I had to think about it. I was about to see some vulgar stuff, but I had to think about it. Listen, so, hey, man, listen, just go read my book. If you're one of those men, even just go read the book. It'll help you. It'll help you get to that point. And I don't want to make it a dip. And the thing about it is, real men that understand this won't even feel like it's a diss. Anybody that feels a way about what was just said, you are the epitome of what I'm talking about that needs to understand what Call Me First is. Right? Yeah, that's well, man. You almost had me go off on a tangent mid-time. Real talk.
I think a lot of men, like you said, a real man or a man who's willing to learn and to adjust and to be that to take accountability is willing to make that adjustment. When I was on your live, look there, fire truck go. When I was on your live, was it last week we were on it?
Maybe about 2 or 3 weeks.
2 weeks now. And the men were speaking on your platform, on the panel, and they sound so hurt, so lost, and they sound like they had a lot of regrets in their life, and that they're trying to rewrite their book now. They're trying to make it better. And that's what I took out of being on your live, that a lot of men didn't have a father figure to give them that blueprint or to direct them or to show them the way. And even our own faults or mistakes that we made growing up, even if we had guidance or not, I think a lot of people just feeling guilty now.
For me to speak on that, right? There is a time for everything. There's a time to feel guilty. It's a time to feel shame, time to feel helpless. And it's a time to, get over it. I'm not telling the men on here to get over it. What I'm telling you is it's going to be phases that you're going to have to go through. It's going to be a phase where you got to feel guilty. It's time when you feel like you need to do more. And it's going to be a time that you got to get over it and move forward with what you got going on, right? So whatever phase that men are in, listen, I had to go through it. We all got to go through it. It's different phases to it, right? And for the gentlemen that were on here that may have feel like they're in a place where help is necessary, listen, my message to you guys is go through the phases. It's a certain process that you can't skip, and it requires a lot out of you. It's going to be tough. And I'm making it seem like I'm all the way through it. I'm not. There are times that I have to go back in here and go read something I wrote because I feel a certain type of way, because I'm going through something. I read this book probably 2 or 3 times a week, a certain passage out of this book 2 or 3 times a week to get me back to where I need to be. This book holds me accountable, right? So I'm not saying to those men like, oh, you're in the spot that you're in, you need to get past it. And what I'm telling you is don't stay there. Don't stay there. Go through it. Go through the all the hoops and everything you got to jump over. Go through the fire. Get burnt a little bit. Get scratched up. Go through it. But just know it's light at the end of the tunnel. Go through it. Make a goal for yourself. Make a vision for yourself. What do you want to accomplish at the end of this? There are men that are going through certain things, and this is all they can see. And my job is, if you reach out to me, bro, I'm gonna help you see that there is a goal at the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You're going through whatever it is right now. You getting hit with all so many lefts you begging for, right? Here's what I'm telling you. Get hit with all the lefts. And be prepared to get hit with a right. And once you get hit with that right that you've been begging for, you better capitalize on it. This is what I'm telling you. Don't stay there. You got to all right to go through it. You should go through it. It's necessary for you to go through it. Please go through it. But don't stay there. Don't stay there. And people might say, well, you're saying don't stay there. How do we get out of it? Come to the realization that you sitting there ain't doing no good for you. It ain't benefiting you. It ain't benefiting the people around you. What type of progress or production are you building in this time when you're going through what you're going through? It's probably nothing. Don't be happy with nothing. Don't be, excited about nothing. You are capable of so much more. You deserve so much more. Please believe that about yourself.
Yeah.
Please believe that about yourself. How do you get there? Go through what it is you're going through. And if you can't figure it out for yourself, reach out for help. Who do you reach out to help for? Reach out to a man that may be doing a little bit better, that you may believe is doing a little bit better than you. Hear his story. Hear what he's went through. I got a lot of them right here.
Yeah. Do you find that when you read your book or when you was creating the book that you was dealing with a lot of emotional challenges writing it down or just having
Gosh,
those
I got slapped so many times reading this book. I got slapped so many times writing this book because I had to face my truth.
Yeah.
I had to bring up old wounds. I had to go back and relive some things that didn't necessarily serve the person I wanted to be today. Yes, I went through rough times writing this book. Hey, listen, this book made me shed tears, right? Here's the thing, too, right? One of the proudest moments that I had after writing this book is when I showed my mom. And my mom, she never knew I was writing. Nobody knew that I was writing the book. And I told my mom I wrote a book, and she said, where do I get it? I said, on Amazon at that time, because I didn't have a website and anything set up. And I said, get it on Amazon. She said, well, I don't have an Amazon account. I said, I'll order one for you. My mom said, no, you're not. I want to buy it. I want to pay full price. And that wasn't a proud moment. It's when my mom actually got the book and started reading the book and called me and said, I am so proud of you. Nobody in this world knows you like your mama. And my mama said she read the book, and when she got to a certain point in the book, she had to call and tell me, I'm so proud of you for telling the truth. Telling the truth in this book and being so open and expressive with the things that you went through. And I have actually seen you do the transformation from the beginning to where you are right now. And for you to put into words, I couldn't be prouder as a mother. And that was one of the best parts about writing this book. So to go back and answer your question, yeah, that was a hit too. But it was one of them hits that I'm happy for. I was happy to hit because it emotionally. One of the things that I said, right, when I was younger, I always said I wanted to do something that my mom was proud of. And in 40 years that I've been alive, Tash, I don't even know if I've done something that my mom is proud of. I'm pretty sure I have. But for her to be expressive and say that was a bright ass moment for me. Bright moment for me. Yeah. And most people are like, oh, that's coming from your mom. She's supposed to give you that type of love. Well, listen, my mom is a gangster. My mom ain't about to give me no props if I ain't deserve it. My mom is real like that. And she gave it to me. So that was the sealed deal for me.
Yeah. That is beautiful, Dane, because it shows in your face how elated you are with your mom, kind of like it's not like a stamp of approval. Your mom will always be your mom. She will always love you. But just to hear those words coming from her, because you know that she's such a tough cookie to impress. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing. I think we only get that approval later on. But I think we should try to pour that every day on our kids, so that they don't have to wait till that 40-year-old big kid of you
So to go back to my mom real quick, right? My mom is one of the moms who's such a gangster. Like the words "I love you," I don't even know if I could count 5 times my mom ever said that to me.
They don't say
Do I
it
know she
in
loves
our
me? She loves me like.
Of course.
Listen, ain't none of my siblings here, but I'm my mom's favorite kid. I don't care. I tell you the truth. I am my favorite. I'm my favorite kid, and I don't get "I love yous" a lot, but listen, it's necessary. So when it comes down to my boys and my daughter, like, yo, I love y'all. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now while I'm still here to tell you. So, oldest son, 12. A middle child, 7. My youngest is 6, my daughter. Listen, I'm gonna tell you I love you as much as I can. Because any day could be the day. And I want you to know, I want you to feel, I want you to remember, I want you to be able to see it when I told you I love you. I love you. There is nothing in this world that if I'm capable of doing, I won't do for your protection. Listen, I love you, my children, and I feel the exact same way about my wife. There is nothing, no hope, no mountain, no fire that I won't go through to protect you. I love you beyond. And this is what I want you to know this. I want you to feel it. I want you to recognize it. And I want you to know any of that, call me first. Call me.
Even the good, the bad, right? That your kids do. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. You still want your kids to know that I love you. It's not something a transactional. It's not something where it requires a give and take, or no. This is something that's unconditional, that holds no space for money. I find a lot of parents, a lot of their love is transaction. And I think I lived that, right? Where if you can't do for them, they don't know you. If you can't give them money, buy them something, or pay their mortgage, or, they don't know you. So what am I? Who am I when you don't really need me then?
That is a cycle that still has to be broken too. That is a cycle. That may be how they were raised. That may be the type of things they've seen and came to and brought to their children, right? So I used to be upset with my dad, real upset with my dad, because my dad wasn't exactly present in life for me. Don't get me wrong, I can always do a phone call and call my dad. Was he gonna show up? Probably most of the time, yeah, but he wasn't around, man. There was no accountability put on me, right? So the things that I went through, I used to be upset with my dad. I mean, as a youngster, right? I used to be upset with my dad, and then I came to a realization, and I put this in the book too. So please remember this part. This is in chapter 2 of the book. I put this in perspective. I never really sat and had a real conversation about life with my dad, right? But I was able to do it. Damn, that's crazy. It was exactly a year ago. Exactly a year ago. Maybe 2-3 days off, but about a year ago. We went to Jamaica, and we had to take care of some things. Just for anybody, full-blown born Jamaican, I can, understand and speak the language. Anytime on the rhythm, I can talk patois and do them after them. I just say go. But I could go back and forth.
Yeah, I know.
Right? And flip it up and flip it on. So, real quick, most people never know I can do that. I have shocked people that know me for 20 years that don't know I can speak fluent patois.
Down south, I never knew you was Jamaican. I read your book.
Right? So people never know that. But I said all that to say this, right? We were in Jamaica, not on vacation. We had to go take care of some things. And it just so happened, I went with my brothers, my mom, and everything, but my dad and I were the only ones that stayed at this particular Airbnb. And my dad is like me, can't sleep at night. So one night we are up talking to I don't even know how we got into the conversation. I got to learn so much about my dad and the things that he went through. Only thing I've heard before was stories that from other people that may not have had his eyes to see what was going on. And I had an opportunity, and I'm telling you this to say this, right? Sometimes we need to give grace to the people before and try to understand what made them the way they are. And we do that. Most of them won't be expressive, so we have to ask questions. So this is what I did. And my dad expressed so many things to me that the vision that I had of my dad started doing like this.
360.
360. And I said, bro, damn, bro, I never knew this. I never knew this. And I heard his version of it. So at that moment, what I realized was
You was holding in his anger and pain and not realizing.
Yeah, my dad never had a blueprint either. He gave me what he got.
Yeah.
He gave me what he got, not knowing that it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
And not knowing that it wasn't the best. So the fact that he didn't know a difference was why he gave me what he got, because listen, he's 70-something years old right now. It got him to 70-something years old. Some people only live to 30, 40 years old, but it got him to 70-something years old. So he figured, listen, hey, this worked for me. Let me deliver it to my kids too. Wasn't necessarily the best thing, no, but what it did was I wasn't upset with him no more, because I realized Pops only got what he, only gave what he got.
Yeah.
Pops only gave what he got. And I had to get, bro. And people might be like, LD, so how you know what to do now if that's who you saw?
So that little kid in you, what would you like to tell your dad now?
The little kid in me, right? Hey, Dad, listen, I tell Dad this. Hey, Pops, you ain't do the best you could have did. You ain't do the best you could have did. But I do understand. You gave me all you had. The tools that you gave me was what you had. Could you have done more? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I want to give you grace right now and say, listen, my guy, I love you to death. I love you beyond words. I still won't trade you. No matter how rough life was, I still won't trade you. Because the experience that I got from you built me to who I am right now, and I love who I am. I love me. I love me. And a part of the character builder was because of how things went with you. I ain't upset at it. I'm happy at it. Thank you, Dad. Thank you. You gave me what you had. I can't ask for much more than that.
You gotta give the parents grace, because they didn't have much. They didn't know much, and they didn't have much. I think our generation is the generation where we're exposed to a lot of resources and social media, and we're just exposed in general. So they didn't have that. So we definitely have to give them grace. I also think that we should embrace them every day, because tomorrow's not promised. They're older, and they just, they're battling just as much guilt as we're battling with guilt. And we don't need to keep stomping on them as they're getting older. We just need to love on them. We just need to embrace them. I tell my mom, like today, I said, something told me, said, let me, after the interview, because I really barely spent time with my mom. I spent time with her only because I have to renew her medication, I have to do this, go doctor with her, that's the spending time. And I'm like, no, that's not spending time. I want to spend time. So I said, I'm going to take her to the massage parlor today.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You don't even know, because I see in her face that a lot of my siblings make her feel guilty in her mistakes. And I saw it yesterday in her face. And she said, I want to be unalive. So it's disheartening. It's hurtful to know that everyone is suffering, right? Mentally, we're all suffering. We're all dealing with the childhood trauma, but it's embrace your father, embrace your mother. I lost my father last year, right? You don't get a second father. You can get bonus dads, but you don't get a biological dad again, right? So embrace them, take them out, take your pictures, take the pictures with the kids, family, wife. Take those pictures because those are the only thing that will last is those memories, you know. But for me first, Dame, what message you would like to tell the audience today before we close?
For the people that's listening, the life, get the idea out of your head that life has to be perfect. Life doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to be a perfect man. You don't have to be a perfect woman. You don't have to be perfect in any aspect at all. What I need you to do is understand that you being intentional is enough. You being intentional is enough. Being intentional means being present, being accountable, be prepared to make mistakes, be prepared to have bumps in the road. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about having a perfect podcast. Don't worry about having a perfect YouTube video. Don't worry about being perfect life. Don't worry about being perfect with any aspect of this. Be intentional. Be intentional and have a goal, have a desire. And listen, having a goal ain't enough. Having a desire may not be enough. Whatever you're about to work on, be disciplined in that craft. That's the only thing that matters. Be disciplined. Be disciplined. Be disciplined with your family. Be disciplined with whatever it is that you're working on. Be disciplined in your base, in your business. That's my message for whoever hears this. Be disciplined.
Well, Dame, I want to thank you for coming on TelaTash and sharing your story. You know, our conversation is never a dull moment. It's always a life lesson that we're learning for ourselves as well. I pray that you'll continue to be the head and not the tail, above and not beneath, the first and not last, a lender and not a borrower in this season. You shall not lack in this season, and you shall not want. That God will continue to give you the blueprint to get to where you need to go. Because you deserve it. You deserve it. A man of God, a man of leader, a man of ownership, take ownership. You deserve it. It's not an easy shoes to fit, to fill. When you quit your job, your wife quit your job, her job, and you guys wholeheartedly stopped everything and took faith, took that leap of faith. Don't know what tomorrow was going to bring. Don't know what today was going to bring. And you still showed up with a smile on your face. Matter of fact, I'm so sorry. I was watching the video when I was editing Call Me First, when you did my interview. You came with a broken.
I did, definitely did.
I kept looking at the video and I said, you came with a broken hand. Do you know what that is?
Tash, you deserve it. You deserve every effort. Hey, listen, you give me so much props. I gotta show you love too. I don't know if you remember this. You're probably not a person that keeps score. When I first started doing this podcast, when I first started doing my podcast, one day out of the blue,
My wife showed me a text message from you, and it was you asking where to send a seed that you wanted to sow into my podcast. And can I say what it was? So you wanted to send money to us. And when my wife showed me the text message, I looked at it and I said, why? Why is she doing this? And I'm like, babe, I don't know what to do with this. I don't want it. That was my thing. I don't want it. I didn't understand what it was, Tash. I didn't understand what sowing a seed was. I didn't understand, right? So my wife said to me, bro, what are you talking about? You don't want it. When somebody sows a seed in what you got going on, you accept it. This is a part of the foundation, a part of the soil in what's about to happen for you. Somebody sees farther than you can about yourself right now. Accept it, bro, and build on it. And Tash, I promise you, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I know you ain't do it for props. I know you ain't do it for recognition. I know you. But it went so far in my heart, not even my brain, but in my heart. It went so far. Tash, I appreciate you for that. It wasn't the money. It was the belief. It was the belief.
Yeah.
If I had any doubt in myself, you made it so that I had to be accountable to you at least to keep going. And I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
I told you from the time I saw Call Me First and I listened to the podcast, I believed in it. I believed in you. I didn't know you. I never hung with you. I never spoke to you. And I believe we probably spoke 2 minutes at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I believed in your podcast. Not many people that I was sowing.
Yeah, I appreciate
I
it.
sold in you because I knew it was going into good soil. So keep up the good work.
I appreciate that, Tash. It was such a pleasure being on your show.
Yeah.
Such a pleasure.
So there you go. There you guys have it. Guys, Call Me First. Take a look at, the podcast. Purchase a merch. My God. Pledge to your wife, to your friends, to your loved ones. And pick up a book just to learn the blueprint. Don't put pressure on yourself. Just day by day, day by day, day by day. Just learning how to be a better person, a better leader. Just do it. And if you like what you heard today, continue to like and subscribe. Click on the button and put comments below. What you think. What could we have done differently, or what could we do to improve anything? Just put your comments of love and anything. We're here for it. We're open to it. And thank you, Dave, for coming. Thank you to your family. Thank you. And
Thank
I'll
you for
see
the
you.
audience. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll see you soon. Where Pain Speaks and Purpose Answer. I'm your girl, Dr. Tash. We'll see you soon. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in that little person. You have to believe for your kids. Initially, I started.